Hey y'all, welcome to Peyton Energetics. I'm Peyton, and in today's video, we're going to talk about how to tell if you are a starseed. Now, as you guys know, we are going through an absolute explosion of starseeds on the planet right now. And with so many people waking up to who they truly are and what they are here to do, I thought it would be helpful to talk about some of the common traits of starseeds, just in case you are one of these people who thinks you might be one, but you're not totally sure. So when we talk about starseeds, first off, I always like to start out by talking about what a starseed is, because there is a lot of confusion in the spiritual community about the difference between a starseed and a light worker. And so I think it's always good to start out with talking about what makes someone a starseed. Now, of course, there are more than one definitions to pretty much everything. But when we are talking about a starseed in the spiritual community, we're generally talking about someone who, of course, is incarnated here in human form, but whose soul originates from another star system. So the term starseed is generally referring to someone who carries a lot of galactic energy. So starseeds tend to be very different from your average human in terms of their energy, in terms of the energy of their soul, because starseeds come from generally a very advanced, very evolved galactic civilization. And so they have an energy that is very different from your average human. And the reason for that is because the energy of their soul is very galactic in nature. So starseeds are said to have souls that originate, for the most part, from one of 6 or 7 star systems. So most starseeds that you will run into are from the Pleiades, Sirius, Arcturus, Andromeda, Lyra, Orion, or Cassiopeia. So these are the most common starseed origin places. But of course, starseeds can come from anywhere as long as their soul is from another star system. That is our typical definition in the spiritual community. So starseeds and lightworkers, not exactly the same thing. Lightworkers tend to be defined as someone who has chosen to devote themselves to bringing more love and light to the world. So they can do that as a job, they can do that as a hobby, or just as part of their personality. So when we talk about light workers, we're often talking about someone who has made a conscious choice to live their life from the perspective of bringing more love and peace to the world. Whereas when we talk about starseeds, we're talking about the origin of someone's soul. So that will help you if you just always wondered what this whole term was all about, because in the spiritual community, we can get our definitions a little bit jumbled sometimes. So if you are someone who is starting to suspect you might be a starseed, but you're not totally sure, today's video is going to share with you some of the general characteristics of starseeds. Now, of course, every starseed is unique. So that doesn't mean that all starseeds look the same. And it doesn't mean that all starseeds will share these characteristics. But as a galactic intuitive, someone who has coached and taught starseeds for many years now, I see that there are certain trends amongst starseeds. There are certain characteristics that I have noticed just over the course of my practice tend to show up time and time again in starseeds. So I'm going to share with you in today's video the top 3 traits that I see in the majority of starseeds that I have worked with, just to help you kind of feel into whether you may be a starseed yourself. Now, if you think you may be a starseed and want to get the answer very definitively, of course, the best way to do that is to sit with your intuition and just ask your higher self, am I a starseed? And your intuition will always give you the right answer. Now, if you can't get an answer that way or aren't sure you're getting the right answer, another great way is always to work with an intuitive, someone who can read your energy, the history of your soul blueprint, and help you figure it out. But I'm always encouraging people to learn the skills to do this yourself. That is what we are moving into as a collective. It is time to be our own guru. So I always encourage people to find the answer from within and to find teachers who help you find the answer from within. But if that's not your jam, there is always help available working with someone like myself or someone similar who focuses on galactic energies. It can be very helpful. So if you are someone who wants to give it a go yourself, I'm going to share with you today the top 3, what I would call the hallmarks of the starseed. These are characteristics that I see almost across the board in the starseeds that I teach and coach. And I have just found that whenever I find people that have these 3 things in common, I'm generally looking at a starseed. But again, everyone is unique. So number 1, the first characteristic that I see almost universally in starseeds is that they have always felt a bit like the black sheep. Like they didn't fit in to their family, to their community, to their friend group. Just that sense or that feeling of not being quite in step with everyone else. This is something that is incredibly common in starseeds, and there's a very specific reason why this happens. So if you are someone who has always been the black sheep, always kind of gone against the flow, or just felt like you didn't quite belong here, this is something that is almost universal in starseeds. And one of the reasons for that goes back to the definition that I was sharing with you at the beginning of the video, is that starseeds have a soul that comes from another star system. And so because of that, the energy of a starseed's soul, a starseed's vibration, is very different from the average human. And a lot of times when humans, the regular person on the street, interact with starseeds, they can sense that their energy is very different than what they're used to. And so a lot of your average, denser humans don't know what to do with starseed energy. And of course, this is all happening at an unconscious level. But what can happen is it can create kind of a barrier between people, between the starseed and the people around her. And there is an energetic reason for this. It's almost like a vibrational difference, like you're on different radio stations. And so no one can quite put their finger on it, but people can feel that they're not quite on the same page. So for this reason, one of the things that many starseeds struggle with is feeling a bit out of place, a bit like they don't fit in. And this can range from being really mild, just kind of a sense that you're a little different than people, to being very extreme, to feeling like you are from another planet, which you kind of are, and you're just not quite resonating at all with the rest of humanity. So this scans a wide range in terms of how this shows up, but it is something that most starseeds that I have encountered can relate to. And again, this comes down to difference in vibration. So starseeds just always have this sense that they're a little different than the average person. So starseeds often process this or can experience this as feeling like the black sheep, feeling like they don't fit in. But there is good news on this front. The Pleiadians, and if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I am a Pleiadian channel. So I work a lot with the Pleiadians, and they have said that this is going to be decreasing significantly in the years to come, because as the vibration of Earth continues to rise, and it is going upward at a very rapid pace right now, this is going to decrease. Because as humans raise their vibration, they're going to start to seek out the vibration of starseeds. It's going to start to feel very good to them instead of feeling kind of foreign, kind of alien. So this is something that, while it has been kind of an inconvenience for a lot of starseeds, or even really a major struggle for a lot of starseeds, this is going to start getting better. Now, number 2, the second kind of hallmark trait of the starseed is that many starseeds struggle with the physical body. Now, just like we talked about in number 1 with the black sheep phenomenon, This can range from being very mild, with just not quite ever feeling really good in your physical body, to what so many starseeds experience, which is just massive struggles with the physical body. And this can range from, mysterious illnesses that no one can get a handle on, to recurring things that just don't clear up, to, just as my Andromedan starseed clients love to say, they just hate being in a physical body. So this can take many forms. So this looks different to everyone, but almost across the board, the starseeds that I have worked with have reported some sort of struggle or difficulty with the physical body. Now, according to the Pleiadians, the reason that so many starseeds have problems with the physical body, ranging from mild inconvenience to completely debilitating, this can really be something that is a huge, huge issue for starseeds. The guides say that one of the reasons for this is that the energy of the starseed's soul, because again, we talked about that energy being very off-world. Starseeds have soul energy that is from another star system. And so when you take that soul energy and squeeze it down into a physical human body, the energy is often not a good match. So this is something that can be very problematic, especially for starseeds from certain star systems. And I have talked about this at length in several videos, so I won't go down the rabbit hole in this video about it, but certain starseeds, especially those from Arcturus, from Andromeda, can have it particularly rough in the physical body. And the guides say this is because the energy of their soul is not a good match for the dense physical body, because they are coming from such highly evolved civilizations that trying to squeeze that into these dense physical bodies is just not a good fit. So they tend to often report more significant issues with the body than some starseeds from other star civilizations. Now, there are some starseeds that fit beautifully in the physical body. They tend to be rare. And as I mentioned in the video on Lyran starseeds, these guys tend to be luckier than most. So if you are a Lyran starseed, you may find that you do great in a physical body, that you actually love being physical. But that is the minority view in the starseed community. So most starseeds are kind of in between the Arcturian Andromedan situation, which tends to be a bit rough, and the Lyrans, who tend to just love it. And other people have just all ranges of how comfortable they are in the physical body, but struggles with the body are pretty widespread in the starseed community. And again, according to the guides, one of the reasons for this can be that the voltage of the starseed's soul just isn't a great fit in these dense physical bodies. So it's just too much energy and just energetically not super compatible. So what this can mean is starseeds can really have a fit with the physical body. But this is something that is a trend in the starseed community for good reason. Now, number 3, the third thing that I would describe as being kind of one of the hallmark traits of many starseeds is feeling like they're here on a mission, but they don't know what it is. And this is something that can be hugely frustrating for your average starseed, because they feel like there's something they should be doing. They just don't know what it is. So one thing that sets apart many starseeds is that they came to Earth not only with the general starseed mission, which is to help Earth through the ascension process, but many starseeds came here intending to do that in a very specific way. And so a lot of starseeds report a very strange feeling of feeling like there's something they're supposed to be doing. Almost like you are late for something, but you don't know what you're late to. And so this is one of those things that always sends up a flag to me that I may be dealing with a starseed, is when they can relate to this feeling. And so in my next video, I'm going to do a breakdown of some of the more common starseed soul missions for you to help you figure out, what is the thing that you are here to do? And there are lots and lots of choices. So if you are interested in learning more about starseeds, and in particular, how to open your multidimensional abilities, make sure you check out my Starseed Mastery program. It takes you through all the basics of opening up your multidimensional abilities in a way that's safe and effective. Check it out on my website at peytonenergetics.com under my courses tab. So I hope this has helped you understand some of the hallmark traits of starseeds, some of the common characteristics that I tend to see over and over again in the starseed community. So let me know in the comments below, how many of these traits do you resonate with? Drop that in the comment box below. And while you're down there, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. I'll see you soon. Bye.